he'd be the first repeat champion in some time.
In years, since Nakamura, or maybe Gadakomsky, about 8 or 9 years.
Yeah.
And by the way, he won it in 2017 as well.
Yes.
Didn't he?
Yeah,
so
he's a two-time
2017,
winner.
2020.
2020, 2021.
Yeah, he's a 2-time winner. He's looking for his 3rd championship. So hard to add up those numbers.
Or was it 2018 where?
I think it was 17. 2018, I believe it was 17. He won it the year after he won the Grand Chess Tour, which was 2016. And then he hit again. Fabi won in 2016. Wesley took it the next year when he was winning everything.
Then who won it in 2018?
Sam. I'm not mistaken.
Sam
Yes,
Shanklin.
that is true.
Sam, and then Naka won in 2019, then Wesley won in 2020, and now looking for the 2021 title. Right now, destiny in his own hands. We haven't had a repeat winner, as we said. The names of repeat winners are legendary names, like Nakamura, like Gadakomsky. You got your Bobby Fischer.
Bobby Fischer.
Yeah, so did you win back-to-back championships?
I don't think I did. No.
Oh,
I think
that's how hard it is. That's how hard it is.
The problem was the prize fund in my days were so low that I oftentimes didn't accept my invitations because, they were 3-week long events and they were held not in the best of locations, shall we say, and they competed with the international tour. As the players are at the board,
if we had started,
big moment.
If we had started the day and said Wesley So beats Fabi with black, we say it's over.
Tournament over.
We say the tournament's over. That's
Right.
it. Wesley So beats Fabi with black. That's it. He could not have hoped for a better result, and he should win. And that's
Exactly.
what we're expecting right now. But that's why we play the games.
Exactly.
And can a miracle of miracles happen right now? The underdog by a lot, with his back to the wall, with the black pieces on top of it, pull this off.
I remember Annie Wang and Naji Pakitsi playing in a playoff for the women's
Yes.
championship.
That was amazing.
And how amazing was that? Oh my goodness. We were
D4 on the board and G6. We got it right.
We got
Look
it
at that.
right.
We got it right.
We said
this is
the
what we
modern.
thought you needed.
You have to play the modern.
And that first move stopped Wesley, and he said, okay, how can I force the draw in the most easiest way? G2, G3.
Did he go for F5 for a Leningrad Dutch?
I don't want to do that against
I don't want to
Wesley.
do that.
I really don't want to do that against Wesley.
So you go
But
into
the
a King's
problem
Indian.
is, if I go knight F6,
Then that's a King's Indian. I go G3, and in general, I can keep it close with white.
exactly. I think Wesley wants to play
E4.
E4.
E4 is
and
on
I
the board.
think Wesley wants to play a bishop G5 system.
All right, there he
Bishop
goes,
E2.
giving his opponent space.
Okay. Now you've got to go into an old Indian as black, whether you like it or not. You take on D4 and play knight F6.
I like this
Knight
97 idea,
E7.
if it's not losing. It's not the best place for the knight.
I'm
but
not sure. H5, H4, H5.
H4, H5 would be the recipe against this move.
That's the problem. H4 is...
And that's okay. You're going to give white the advantage.
No,
in
he
an
didn't play
attempt to
for
win.
it. He didn't play for it. He just
But as
castled.
Wesley, you're in a master situation. Are you going to play H4 or castle? You're going to try to keep it
Listen, when you have to
slow,
draw,
play
you know what the
slow
recipe
game.
is for when you have to draw?
Get a good position.
You get a position, the guy's crying in front of you. H4 and tell him you're trying to win the game. Trying to make a draw is a sure way to lose a chess game. That's not what you do. But he doesn't want to take any real chances. I don't think he's trying for a draw. I think he's just not going to play.
He's playing for an advantage.
He's going to play for advantage and keep
Right.
the game close.
By the way, just a quick question for you both. Are there draw offers?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Since
We don't
since
really
there
know
were no draw offers.
Clear
in,
answer to that, but
in the actual
by
championship,
the way,
this
there-
is the championship.
There will
so-
be no draw offers
draw
in this
offers.
game. Offer all
I
you
mean,
want to.
no. I mean, Wesley is up a rook, and he says to the opponent, "You want to draw? Okay, I'm a rook down."
No.
but I just wanted to ask if it was even permitted that he
It was
could.
permitted. We haven't seen any draw offers this entire tournament. I remember days when people argued. I wrote an article called "The End of the Draw Offer." The end of the draw is what I called it, actually.
Yeah.
The end of the draw, and people blasted me for this article.
Furious.
They were angry. What do you mean
Yeah.
you can't offer a draw anymore? What's
Like your
wrong with
God-given
you?
right.
I was like, I'm telling you, it's better for chess if you don't have draw. It was draw
And
offers.
here we go, F5.
And F5 on the board.
Okay.
And now we've seen an entire tournament played, two sides, exciting chess. We've seen it in the Singfield Cup. It's easy. The players just keep playing. It's not
Exactly.
the end of the world. F5, this is the chance he needed, was something sharp.
Well, if I'm in Wesley's shoes, I'm taking. I'm assuming
I'm gonna
you're
take with the
taking
knight.
no. Then I take on knight, and h6 is hanging.
So I have to take with the pawn in
You
exchange the
do
queens
have
at
to
that
take
point.
with the pawn,
I don't want
and
to do
then
that.
I want to play c5.
What if
What?
I take the pawn?
I thought e5 was hanging. So if you take on c5, I'll trade on d8, and I'll take, and I'll take.
That's okay.
I'm just trying to hoover.
You're trying to make a
things-
draw, yeah?
Yeah, hoover things off the board right
No,
away.
be careful with those trying to make draw situations again. Play the best
He's-
move.
He's done
He
it,
took
by
on
the
e5.
way.
And it happens to be the best move. It's
Oh,
not.
does it?
It's
Is
not
it?
trying to make a draw. It happens
Okay.
to be the best move because Black has created weaknesses in his camp.
That's the whole point. He really has.
Yeah, so you're taking
Absolutely.
advantage of the weaknesses. You don't have to do the math to make a draw. You just keep playing great moves.
G3.
E4.
B4.
Same idea. Get in
I like
C5.
that. I like that.
Okay,
move.
and if
Do
A5.
you
now?
A5 bishop A3? No, bishop A3 I can't do. A5 B5 with the idea of bishop A3. Remember the blitz game between Wesley So and Gary Kasparov, where he went like B4, B5, C5, and Gary came on set and he said that was a game of Morphy versus amateur. And I was the amateur, said Gary Kasparov.
By the way, this B4 move, this position has been seen before. Before
Really?
B4. B4 was a novelty.
Really, I'm a bit surprised this is in the database. I thought
Still in
that
the database.
Yeah, but B4 strikes me as a very logical move.
I just checked with the engine. It's giving a huge edge to this novelty for white.
As we are ready to play bishop to A3, C5, B5, and
Everything is going to work
this
for white right now.
diagonal is very unpleasant. I want to say this bishop is not doing anything here. Can't even go there, by the way. Bishop would not be doing anything on the E3. You look to get your pieces as effective as possible.
great
Bishop
move.
A3.
And again, a statement move. This is what I was saying. You need to make a draw. You're Wesley So. You know how you do it? You make the guy beg for it. You know, oh, I need a draw. No, you will beg for the draw. Keep playing aggressive moves and see what I do to your position. He understands the circumstance. And I think that Sam's F5, it looks like the most natural thing. Like, what else are you supposed to do with the structure?
Right.
But you do create weaknesses instantly. And you needed to somehow let the game last instead of just blasting your way through because
By
you
the way,
need to make a win.
That knight is heading
Knight-
towards D4 right now.
Knight C6, it just feels a little bit artificial. Not
B5,
that I had a
knight
good,
to D4 has to be.
not that I had a good suggestion for Sam,
B5
but
on the board?
it does feel a little artificial that you're putting the knight here. Bishop A3 looks like a very big tempo.
Played.
I want to say.
Rook
He
E8
played it
looks
very
forced.
quickly.
Bishop A3 was played.
There's a rook F7, but I don't want to put it on F7.
Well, I'm thinking that White's intent is to capture this pawn and then capture this knight and really wreck Black's structure. Oh, by the way, keep in mind,
I just don't want to see
was
C5.
played, and an
C5.
immediate C5, I think, was played.
I don't want to see C5. That's why I didn't want to put the rook on F7. And Bishop going to C4. What am I supposed to do here?
By the way, Wesley is playing super relaxed right now.
Of course he is.
He's just
And
making moves,
fast.
a la tempo,
Dominating.
putting pressure on his opponent.
constant pressure.
This is a man who knows that the championship is his if he does the right
For
thing.
the plucking.
He won with Black already. His opponent is forced to win with the Black pieces, and he can just keep the pressure on and roll.
F takes E4 is on the board.
F takes E4, not desirable, but again, not
How do
too
you
many-
react though?
After F takes E4, I'm just taking.
On E4 or on D4? If
I'm
you take on
just
E4, I'm
taking.
going to take on F3. You're just taking, yes.
I'm taking with the knight. I'm going to say, go ahead. Yeah. I got a lousy
Why can't you
structure.
win material here? There's got to be something in. And take
He
Bishop
took on
C4 right
D4.
now.
That's
He's
a
taken.
move. He played it.
And he's played it. It's over. This game is over.
Knight takes D4.
You can't control everything. Your position is going to
and
collapse.
now Bishop C4?
Bishop
Yeah.
to C4 is on the board.
Now.
If you take on C3, I'm going to take on F7, then Queen to D5.
You're
and where do you
just-
put
you're
the
getting
king?
Killed.
Where do you put the
You're
king?
getting destroyed. This
And
is a massacre right now. Wesley So dominating this playoffs completely, as he's just going to crush both opponents. Well, he stole the first game basically, but hey, he got it. Points, got it. Now he's just going to demolish this opponent and say, I am the champ. You got to beat the champ to take the title. In boxing, he's doing it here in punishing style, saying, I am the champ. And that's it. We've seen material drop.
Could you update mine?
And what?
And remember how disappointed Wesley So was after that draw in his interview with Maurice?
Yeah,
the draw
ancient
against
history once
Daniel
again.
Naroditsky.
I mean, whatever he did to reset his mind and get back into the competitive flow, he has done it. He is dominating.
Yeah, sir, I'm sorry. I'd love that to be the narrative, but Fabi blew the last game.
He did.
Fabi just blew the game.
He did.
Wesley
He had
will
to
walk in here and
win.
say, I was lucky
Lost.
against Fabi. He will not say that he just cruised.
Right.
He was lucky against Fabi. Fabi blew that game, and Fabi probably has walked out of the building right now seeing this position on the board, or maybe he's hanging around because he knows. He's like, are you kidding me? I could have done this whole thing.
This
This could have been in here.
This could
have been me.
And look at this. I think that unfortunately for himself, Sam had to drop material, but I think he made the best of it by getting a bishop for the exchange, and he's hoping that he'll be able to get his queen to d5. And I don't know, on a very, very good day, be able to utilize the pawn. So maybe something like queen d5, knight here, and d3.
At least you have the light squares.
Yeah,
At least
he's
you have the light
kicking.
squares.
He's saying, like, I'm
If you
still
can
with
maintain
you.
that pawn on d4 and not lose it in the next few moves, then you actually have a chance.
Okay.
You play for something.
And
Bishop to
here we
b2, and
go.
he's targeting that pawn on d4 immediately.
But also, not only that, he's making sure that any d4, d3, this bishop will not be offsides, sitting behind this pawn on c5. Also, he's thinking that should this pawn ever be tickled, he's got a defense a2,
Sam has
a4.
to play fast right now because he's down on time, 2 minutes and 30 seconds. He only
think
has
queen-
4 minutes and 30 seconds left on the board.
I can't imagine him having a better move than
Queen
queen
d5. Queen d5.
And
I'm
he
afraid
should-
of queen b3 against your queen d5, though.
Okay,
Take
but at least I
e6.
get a pawn.
Bishop to c4.
Bishop c4. Okay, as a prelude to queen d5, I'm not sure I can support that move. That move, well, I mean, I'm playing a4. If in that case queen d5, I can play knight d2, maybe hunt down this bishop. I'm not a fan of, but okay, again, the position is not
a4
great
was played.
whatsoever. A4, of course. Queen d5. I mean, Sam better start playing quickly. What's the time situation?
He only has 4 minutes and
A6,
I believe
trying to
13
hook that
seconds
pawn.
left. 6 minutes and 10 seconds left for Wesley and counting.
This is a
don't think that's-
Herculean task. We cannot overstate how difficult it's going to be for Sam to come back in this game. He is in so much trouble right now, and he just got to hope Wesley makes a horrible move. That's his only chance.
I think this is a bad idea by Sam. I think knight d2 and knight f3,
Which was
plays
played,
itself
is on the
for
board.
knight d2 and knight f3. I want to take this pawn. Yes,
That's
yes,
the
yes,
thing.
yes. You can
have,
take on b5.
You have to force that pawn from d4 to move all the way to d3. Allow me to exchange dark square bishop, and that's all she wrote. If I can do that,
finish.
if I can
That's done.
trade the bishop, then the game is over.
Right. I'm thinking ab5, rook a1, bishop a1, maybe even queen a1, but okay. Rook a1, bishop a1, and after bishop b5, knight f3. This is
That's
my
exactly what he's
strategic
aiming at.
achievement that I want to
And make a point about that position, please, because I think the
Okay.
fans want to know why that's so decisive.
because you're going to have to be forced to play d3 and expose your king with queen to b3 and bishop takes g7. So Wesley will have
I think
material.
you'll also actually, you'll be in a lot of trouble with your pawns on that side as well, right? Rook
Exactly.
e6.
Exactly.
I'm just going to take on g7, go queen d2, take advantage of the weakness of the dark squares in that position.
Let's make a couple of moves while we wait. D3, continue with D3, bishop. You said bishop G7,
Yeah.
and takes. I think Christian mentioned queen B2,
Queen D2.
with a little nasty threat of queen to B2 check.
Queen d2 or queen b3? Which one do you prefer? Queen d2? Okay.
Queen d2.
Queen D2 is sneakier.
Sneak.
You know, Christian has
No.
sneaky tactics going
No.
for queen B2. Rook E6,
like
of course,
rook
is a
E6.
nice move as well.
Queen A1 check.
Lots of options.
Lots
May
of
I
great. That's what he's
introduce-
been analyzing.
He's going for that variation right
but
now.
you know, I don't believe you can trade rooks and get away and survive this.
He
position.
did. Rook takes A1.
That's
I
what he
believe, is on
did.
the board.
He's going to lose easily.
Rook takes A1. So rook takes A1. Now here's the question though, because queen takes
Bishop
A1.
takes A1 was played.
Okay, because queen takes A1 also had something.
And he's playing it right into our line.
Right,
We predicted
knight
the game.
F3.
And now we're
Knight
just waiting
F3.
for the simple, straightforward knight of 3, and your position collapses
Quickly.
like a house of cards. This is not going to hold up. Knight of 3, push the pawn, trades. As long as white has a rook on the board, your pieces cannot fight back.
And that pawn on D3 is just not going anywhere. Not with the knight on F3. And here we go.
Knight to F3
It's
is on
just
the board. Bishop takes G7.
Sometimes Wesley makes it look simple, right?
Queen A1. That knight is going to D4 and is going to land on E6 with devastating consequences.
Ooh, I didn't even see that.
No,
I
Bishop
would-
D7 stops you, at least.
But
Well,
that
then-
doesn't allow me to
doesn't
target the
end your
D3
life.
pawn.
D3 pawn,
Then I'm
yeah.
going to go queen to C3 or rook to D1, focus on the D3 pawn, and that's going to be lost.
By the way,
I mean, it's already lost.
It's game over.
It's already lost. This game is death. I mean, Wesley had all he could dream of when he won with the black pieces against Fabi, and now, and then his opponent lost and had to play for a win with black, so played very cagey chess, very aggressive chess, I should say. King back to G8.
King G8 on the
he
board.
couldn't have gotten anything better.
No.
He got everything he needed.
That was the
This
perfect
is
result.
The
for me.
perfect two results. Winning
This
with
is-
black. There's knight
Oh,
D4
knight
play.
D4, you
D4.
played your move. I thought rook E6. I was always thinking that the rook was landing on E6 because of the G6 pawn weakness, but he played knight D4.
I think
and
he
he's
wants to
looking-
keep that rook on the first rank just to be sure that no D2, D1 somehow comes fast on the board.
Queen C3.
Knight D4,
What do you do
bishop
with
C-
this bishop?
He's putting the
over.
question. to the
Knight E6
bishop.
is unstoppable mate.
The game is over.
Knight E6 will be unstoppable. So Queen D5, for example, just loses to Knight E6.
right.
So you can't defend this piece. You have to move
You
it.
have to play bishop to D5. That's going to allow me to pick up the pawn on D3.
At
Your
least.
last threat in the position, and that's all she wrote.
Guys, it's so bad right here, right now.
Precise
I think
play
it
by
might
Wesley.
be
This is it?
resignable.
It is
This is it.
resignable.
It's that bad.
1 minute
I
and
don't see
10
it.
seconds left for Sam Sevian.
And by the way, this is a $50,000 game.
Oh, yeah.
He wins this game. He takes home the $50,000 prize. Sam will pocket $30,000 along with Fabi as they tie for second and third. But this is a $20,000 swing game. And whoa, what is this? This
C
cannot
takes
work.
B5.
This is
Knight,
desperation.
Can't possibly work.
This is what we call desperation.
It certainly is that.
Knight to E6 should
Knight
finish the
E6.
game.
Knight C6.
Knight C6 is the one I
Everything
liked.
finishes the game
Yeah,
right now.
no, Knight C6 was the one I liked because we're landing.
I also like
on
B7 actually.
B7, but Knight C6 we're landing on E7 with the rook.
You guys
We'll
are
be
killers,
threatening-
man. Like how many we see victim.
Come
We all
on, we
wanna
see a
make
player
moves.
get victimized. Just
Could I play white, please?
Please, could I? I mean, it's like
Damn, nice
C6.
It's like an ultimate moves. You know, hey coach, put me in, put me in.
Queen D7 allows rook to E7.
E7, that's
Good
what I was
night.
thinking.
Where do you put the queen? F8, but then B7, or takes on C7. I mean, you name it. This one is over. Wesley so will be the champion, barring a heart attack. I mean,
Yes,
right.
pretty
it's
much at this point.
There's no way. Queen, where?
G5, Queen G5.
But now I can just simply go B7.
That's-
B7, forcing you to take with the knight because B8 is coming in. I'm getting my second
Well,
queen,
he's-
and you lose the pawn on
And if
C4.
I
and he's reaching for his pawn. He's ready to go B7, D2,
That's it. That's
D2. Oh, look at
That's
Sam.
one checkmating threat, but that's
Look
about
at-
it.
My turn, says Wesley.
well,
Queen
rook E7,
with check.
excuse me, rook E7
Finishes the game.
How about Queen C7?
makes you give up the queen.
Queen C7.
Anything, anything
come
goes.
on. Queen
Anything
C7.
goes.
And he's
Yeah.
taken, and that's it.
Congratulations, Wesley.
The champ, Wesley So, the repeat champ, Wesley So.
Wow.
2 in a row. Many might have argued that 2020 was a pandemic year and they played online, and maybe, just maybe, he didn't quite win a legitimate championship. Of course it was, but it was online. But he has done it once more at the chessboard in the world famous St. Louis Chess Club and said, yes, indeed, I reign as the best U.S. player. Period.
Congratulations, Wesley. Really, really nice. Okay, definitely a hiccup in the game with Fabi, but he played it at the very end incredibly well.
He played a practical game. He kept his edge on the clock, and he understood how important that is in a 10-minute game.
Right.
With so much tension. And remember, we do not see an increment in this format. We see the delay, and we saw how fatal that can be for a player that goes down to their last few seconds.
As happened with Fabi. The delay, I think it's a fine idea. I just like to see it played throughout the whole tournament as opposed to playing the entire tournament with an increment and then only at the very end
And
using
there
the delay
we
feature.
see the sweet embrace
But
of
Wesley's
Wesley's mom.
Wesley, he's a
mom.
guy who he plays fast, whatever you do in front of him.
Right.
He's going to play quickly and quickly. He's always practical. He just gets it done as they coming down into the basement where we are, where the studio is, but the rightful champion.
2021 U.S. Chess Champion, Wesley So.